Mass Effect Andromeda. It is the fourth installment of the Mass Effect series developed by BioWare and published by EA. It was released on March 21st, 2017 on Xbox One and Windows 10. Now, I have over 2 days game time on Mass Effect Andromeda, and I can say it's not the worst game I've ever played. It definitely has its downfalls, but there are some good aspects to this game. The plot begins in the 22nd century, in the year 2185. You are on board the Nexus ship, which is home to 100,000 people, among 5 races who have each brought 20,000 people of their own kind. You get to choose if you want to play a Scott Ryder or Sarah Ryder, who is the son and daughter of Alec Ryder, the Pathfinder of the Initiative, who is responsible of finding habitable planets so you can populate Andromeda, as Earth is no longer a viable option. You finally get briefed for your first mission, which is to go down to this planet you are close by to see if it is habitable, as the Nexus is starting to run low on supplies. You go down to the planet, and you are introduced to the enemies, which are named Ket. Eventually, some major plot happens, and you become the Pathfinder of the Initiative. With Mass Effect Andromeda being my very first Mass Effect game, I really have no clue to the prior storyline, but I assume it is something along the lines of what Andromeda is. Now, I'm starting out with a dialogue, as it is the biggest topic that is discussed, so let's begin.
No peeking. I'm putting the finishing touches on my personal project.
I thought you said it was on the Nexus.
I'm just perfecting the final component here, or should I say, trying to. Several of the crew have offered to help, and I keep politely declining and ushering them out. So, thank you for retrieving that critical piece of REM tech, but kindly stop digging.
I'm naturally curious, and I'm sure the crew just wants to bond.
Curious is good. Built anticipation. I'll leave the bonding to you, not the style. I realize it must be hard being the Pathfinder and not being able to know everything. But there's so much you can do that no one else can. It's safe to say that you, my friend, are one of a kind.
I don't have to explain genetics to you, do I? Everyone is one of a kind.
Yes, assuming you're not a clone. But no more distractions. The next time you're on the Nexus, my project will be done. Come by, and I'll unveil it. Now, if you will, please leave me to my own devices.
The dialogue is one of the most talked about subjects in this game. The animations are horrible. The characters never seem to be alive. They all have the most generic facial expressions. They never seem to show any emotion in the face, which really takes away from the immersiveness. Sometimes the characters will either be sad, happy, or excited, but because of the blank expression, it really draws out the life in the game. Not only that, but some of the characters' lines are horribly done by their voice actors. It is cringy to watch and listen to. There are different options while speaking to someone. There is heart, head, professional, and casual. Each of them sway the conversation depending on which one you chose among the options available. This feels along the lines of a Telltale game, where you have different dialogue options where they lead to different types of reactions. On most characters you can interact with who are important to the story will have an option to show extra emotion with a big heart as an option to choose from. Both men and women of different races are eligible for this option, but again, not every character can be talked to like this. This option shows more affection to the character you are talking to, so you can possibly get into a relationship. This is what makes the game actually kind of cool. You can actually choose who you would want to hook up with. The different types of voices that are done with different races, they have obvious voice effects on them, which that makes them kind of sound weird. The Turians, for example, they have this layered effect where it has deeper voices under them, and it's really strange just to hear it. I know the reason why they did this is to distinguish between the races just from hearing the voices, but I feel like they could have done a better job instead of just adding one effect and being done with it. Well, that's pretty much all that's got to be said about the dialogue from me. If I think of anything else, I'll add it in here, but as of right now, that's all I can think of. They should have done a better job with the animations, that's for sure, and some better voice acting. So I hope BioWare learns from this mistake and actually improves on their next project if they decide to make one. There are a lot of different types of species in this game. From the Milky Way, the Citadel races, you have the Asari, the Drell, the Elcor, the Hanar, the Humans, the Keepers, Solarians, Turians, and Volus. Now the non-Citadel races from the Milky Way, you got the Batarians, the Collectors, Geth, Krogan, Leviathans, Quarians, Reloi, Reapers, Virtual Aliens, Vorka, and Yogg. And those are just a handful of the types of species that are in this game. With all the game time that I have, I still haven't even seen most of these species. There is so much to discover, which also brings lore into the game. When you talk to someone, you can usually ask them about them, ask them why they're here in Andromeda, why they work for the Initiative, what's their goal. Even on a species that you just met, you can ask them about their species backstory, about their religions, their laws, and all that. All this kind of lore. The main point that I'm trying to get across is that there's a lot of diversity, which I personally do like, because with different species comes different benefits. You got pros and cons to each one. The Krogan, they are good attackers, while the Turians, they are more of the defense attackers. And the Solarians really seem to be the smart type. Like, they are good with the tech and strategizing. There are several crew members that are aboard the Tempest, which is your ship, and they all play different roles. There are a total of 6 that you get throughout the storyline, which can assist you on your quests. They all have different skills and powers which they can use to help you battle, which can prove very useful when a situation arises. The rest of the crew stays on the Tempest until you disembark and either head to the Nexus or to a different solar system. The customization is very lackluster. There's not a lot of options when it comes to this. You can choose from 9 different presets or go with the character model that the developers already made for the main character. To me, customization is very important. That really immerses you into the game. It makes you feel like you are a part of the story. And where this lacks really hits the game hard. Since there's not a lot of customization, you can't really relate to the character that you are creating, which is really a game breaker. Now, if the customization was a lot better, it would still kind of lack in the immersiveness with the animations that I spoke of earlier. And the customization that you do get, it is also generic. It's pretty much in every Dark Souls game, Skyrim, any Bethesda, it's that simple. You can change the features of the face and where they are, which that's not bad, don't get me wrong, but it could definitely have a lot more customization to it, and that would make the game a little bit better. You also have options to change the history and also what kind of training you receive, so what you specialize in as a soldier. The different types of training can give you different benefits. Now, what you've been seeing me go through is the different types of presets for the customization. There's definitely not a lot. Like I mentioned, there's only 9 for both male and female. There should definitely be a lot more than that, so that really disappointed me. But there's also, you can craft in the game. So you can customize the Nomad, which is what you drive. You can customize the different types of armor and your weapons, which that's really cool, because you can add mods to the weapon that you find or you craft with a research table. So that part is not really that bad. With the research table that I just mentioned, you can research the different types of weapon, armor, and tech. And once you do that, you can then go to the development page of the research table, and you can actually develop the mods or the armor or the weapon you just researched in. Next to the research center on the Tempest, there is an AVP outstanding, which is the cryopods, and you can put cryo points, I guess you could call them, into it that you receive from doing missions. And with that, you can select in either military, science, or commerce, and they each give you different types of benefits. For example, in the science part, you can put cryopod points into, say, a mining team so they can discover new minerals for you, and then you would then receive those minerals at regular intervals. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the skills. It's already played on the screen, so I'm sorry about that, but there's actually quite a bit for your character, but for the rest of your teammates, it's not so much. There's only 5 you can choose from, and the way that you get these skill points is by leveling up, just like every other game. And the higher level you get, the more skill points you earn, because you can actually start upgrading a lot more in your selected skills, which cost a lot more skill points. I've been going more in the combat skills. You got the tech, your biotics, and your combat skills that you can upgrade. It's really not that bad. There's a lot you can do, so options are always a nice thing. But you would usually find one that is really good, such as the concussive shot. I've been using that from the start, and I've upgraded that all the way, and it really has proven useful. What you're seeing on the screen right now is one of the types of quests where you have to solve glyph puzzles, which is pretty much Sudoku, and I'm not the best at it, so I've had problems solving the puzzle, and I've actually had to look one up on the internet. And what these do, they kind of control the environment. The first 2 planets that you visit, you do this. The first one will lower the radiation levels, and the second one will actually start to heat the planet up because it's a frozen planet. And this opens up a vault, which is part of the storyline. And once you do this, you usually get some kind of artifact that you can bring back to the ship and have one of your crewmates actually take a look at it and study it. And that is what kind of makes the planet habitable. Once you do that, that's when you can actually set up a base there. And I have only set up 2 bases on the 2 planets that I've visited. There's actually a lot of planets in the solar systems. It's really impressive, to be honest. Sometimes I feel like maybe it's a little bit overkill because I don't know if every single one is going to be a part of the storyline or if some of them are just there for decoration. But it is interesting because when you can scan a planet and it'll actually give you facts about it, like what it's made of and all that. It'll show you the orbiting system that it's in, and I really do like that. That's a very good feature. But the only thing I don't like is that it takes a long time to travel between them, like between solar systems and just between the planets. Now, in each solar system, there's usually one item out in the solar system that you have to search for. That'll maybe a mineral deposit. Some of the planets have them too. They'll have a satellite there, or maybe mountain you can get for XP. And some of these are like in the asteroid belts. You can find like a crashed ship and you can scavenge the parts for them. Now, every planet that you can actually visit, there are space pods that you have to go find. This will allow you to restore your health and all your ammo, as well as the Nomad, as soon as they have landed. If you don't have your Nomad, you can actually call it from there, so it'll actually drop the vehicle for you where you are. I wish it would do that like on any place, but it has to be at a forward station. These also allow you to customize your loadout, such as what you want to use for your melee weapon, and you can carry up to 4 weapons, I do believe. I have 3 unlocked at the moment. And with that loadout, you can also, there's consumables, which I don't know if they are one-time use because I personally don't use them, but they can give you some boosts during combat. Now, the driving in this game is the last subject I want to talk about. It's not that bad, but there is definitely room for improvement. I think it's a 2-wheel drive in the standard mode, but you can put it in a 6-wheel drive, so when you climb or when it goes up a hill. The thing that I find really dumb is that if you're just in the normal, if you're not in 6-wheel drive and you use that boost and you start to go up a hill, you will literally lose all your momentum and just stop and start rolling down, even if you have your boost on. And there is upgrades that I did after the recording of this video. So if you do recall to when I talked about the research and development center, you can actually upgrade the Nomad. You can get different paint jobs and different types of like skills for it, so you can be more agile. And I finally got a longer boost because the boost doesn't seem to last too long. You can boost and jump, and those are like the 2 main things of the Nomad. And you can also mine resources. Once you find a forward station, that'll unlock some mineral deposits that you have to go searching for, and if it's in a rich zone, you will find a lot of material. So that's pretty much it for my thoughts on Mass Effect Andromeda. There probably is some more I could talk about, but I really appreciate you watching this video. I'm sorry if it sounded a little cringy or anything. I know that word is totally overused, but I'm still new to editing. I just got Sony Vegas, and that's what I'm using to edit this. So I'm trying to get the hang of everything. But I'm going to leave you out with a glitch that I encountered in the game. It happened to me when I was searching for corpses. it's acidic water, and if you touch it, your health goes down. And as you will see, I accidentally touched it a couple times, but then Cora and Liam, which are two of the teammates, they just go into the water and are perfectly fine. But anyways, I really hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. Please leave me your feedback. I want to hear your thoughts, and I will see you in the next video.
The water is highly poisonous, Pathfinder. We shouldn't linger here.